Welcome to CamCam on the Cam, a channel about collegiate rowing on the River Cam. This video will discuss CUCBC's 10 golden rules for safety. These rules are specific to Cambridge, but the general principles can be applied to any river. CUCBC are the governing body of collegiate rowing for Cambridge colleges, organising the bumps and regulating college crews on the water. These golden rules are not flexible and should be followed at all times. Breaking these rules can lead to punishments from CUCBC, such as a fine or banning a cox or crew from the bumps, effectively disqualifying them from the term. Let's go through the rules first, and then we'll break down what they mean and how that affects you. These rules aren't in any specific order, as each is as important as another. Number 1. No crews are allowed out during the hours of darkness, and crews need lights if they are on the water in the 15 minutes around the hours of darkness. Number 2. Obey the flag and its conditions. Number 3. Only first boats, or boats in the top 2 divisions of bumps, can go over Batesbite Lock. Number 4. Novice crews need to go first out with a senior cox, and then can only go out after 7:30 AM or within 15 minutes of lighting down, whichever is later. Number 5. No loud hailers can be used on the bank, and cox boxes should be used as little as possible before 7:30 AM. Number 6. No college rowing before 11 AM on weekends. Number 7. Coxless boats need a steerer on the bank. Number 8. Obey the crossover rules. Number 9. Slow boats give way to faster crews, and downstream crews give way to upstream crews. Number 10. Only spin at the spin zones. Boats need to have a light attached to their bow and their stern if on the water around the hours of darkness. The hours of darkness change every day, and the timings can be found on the CUCBC website. It's good practice to frequently check your lights to make sure they have enough battery power left in them. If you think you will be on the river near the hours of darkness, you should always turn your lights on before pushing off. You should keep an eye on the flag at all times and know what a change of flag means for your crew. More information about the flag can be found in my flag video, linked above. Rowing below Batesbite means going over Batesbite Lock to row away from the normal section of the Cam and towards Ely. Only a few crews can row below Batesbite because it requires getting the boat out of the water and then carrying it down the towpath. Because the river below Batesbite is less familiar, this rule is in place to prevent inexperienced crews or coxes running into trouble in a less well-used portion of the river. During their first outing as a crew, novice rowers should have a senior cox at the helm of their boat to prevent them from getting into trouble and to help coach them during their first outing. Novices cannot go out before 7:30 AM to allow senior crews time to practice on the river before novice crews clog it up. In late Michaelmas, when the hours of darkness end after 7:30 AM, the novices need to wait 15 minutes after lighting down to give senior crews time to get clear of them. Noise before 7:30 AM is restricted above Green Dragon because there are houses on the banks of the Cam, and residents have historically complained about the noise from the river in the morning. The river isn't new, but cox boxes are a fairly recent invention, so it's best for coxes to shut up before Green Dragon in the morning. Personally, I find this a useful time because rowers can fully warm up without worrying about what the cox has to say to them. During this same period, coaching from the bank is also banned for similar reasons. Don't disturb the neighbours. Loud hailers are banned entirely on the river, although some alumni coaches may need to be reminded of this every now and then. Rowing is restricted before 11 AM on weekends, unless there is an organised race going on. This gives everyone a lie-in on the weekend, but also means the river is busy for much of the day rather than just in the morning, as is during the week. Lighting up rules are still the same, so weekend days at the end of Michaelmas typically have around 5 hours of legal college rowing time. Coxless boats need a steerer on the bank. I don't really know much about coxless boats because I'm never in one. This rule basically ensures that experienced 8 rowers aren't dangerous when they give sculling a go. The crossover zone is the stretch of river between the plough pub and a signpost on the gut. The crossover point basically means swap sides of the river, moving from the right to the left. However, the crossover point is much more complicated than just that, so it will be discussed in its own separate video. Certain boats have priority over other boats, depending on specific conditions. Upstream crews, i.e. boats moving towards Jesus Lock, always have priority over downstream crews, which are boats moving towards Batespite Lock. This means that upstream moving crews move first if there is an obstruction in the river. Downstream crews need to wait for them. Downstream crews also need to wait for upstream crews to pass through the spin zone before spinning. Faster crews also have right of way over slower or stationary crews. This means that crews doing racing pieces or practices can overtake slow crews. In fact, the slower crew should move over to allow the faster crew to pass by them safely. This also applies when just paddling. Slower crews should move out of the way of faster crews, and obstructing a faster crew is both dangerous and illegal. Crews pulled into the bank also need to follow these rules and cannot push off until faster crews have passed by them. Only spin in the spin zones. Spin zones are designated parts of the river where spinning is permitted. I will also make a video that discusses spinning and the spin zones in much more detail. The only exceptions to this rule are if a crew needs to spin in an emergency to clear the river, or if a race umpire has instructed you to spin on station, as is done during the bumps. I hope these explanations of 10 golden rules of the river have been helpful. I also hope to make the videos on spinning and the crossover point soon, as these are important and unique parts of the rowing regulations on the River Cam. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.